So I've created a lot of typical what I eat in a day videos in the past, and I often think to myself, why do I even film them? Why do others film them? And why do I continually watch them? Are they more beneficial than harmful? What are your thoughts? Because personally, filming them over the years and over the time that I've been on YouTube has made me more aware of past bad habits, being pointed out by one of you guys, or just reflecting on my own thoughts between each video. I don't create these videos for people to match my own consumption of food, calorie for calorie, macro for macro, just because you may think that is the right way of eating. That's wrong. There's no wrong or right way to eat. That's why I thought it would be a good idea to reflect on my own personal thoughts on a particular video that I created, a what I eat in a day video on my channel, and reflect on my thoughts with you guys here today. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So in this video, like I introed within the intro, we are going to be reacting to one of my first few what I eat in a day videos on my channel, as I create quite a few, but this particular video has been inspired by Helena and Sophie Jane Miller. Both beautiful, wonderful ladies have both recreated one of these videos in the past, and I just really felt inspired by them. So I think it's a great idea to create one of these videos because it makes me aware of my old eating habits and not returning to those, and it makes other people aware of my eating habits and maybe theirs, and seeing if we can relate in some sense. Now, I have chosen this video in particular because watching it back, I realise how many eating disorder thoughts I had back then without even realising, because this video and the sort of scenario behind it was when I thought I was much better and I was building muscle and bettering myself because I was eating more, which I was eating much more than what I had done so previously, but I was still eating very low and not something that I would be able to maintain nowadays, and never going back to those times either. But let's jump straight into it because I could ramble on for days about my old eating habits just up front. First off, I just really want to highlight my whole look and me actually not recognizing myself in that video. I look so slim, and not to say that one body type is better than the other, but for me personally, how my body is now in comparison to then, it's just no comparison. I can see how much more healthier I am, both mentally, physically, and internally in terms of my period to back then. I can just see that I was just withering away without me realising, all because I was consumed by being smaller, having abs, and just getting an aesthetic which wasn't typically the best for me, even though I thought it was the best for me. Just want to highlight that this particular video was filmed on a rest day, and rest day Leila was doing a HIIT sprint circuit as well as some ab circuit. It wasn't actually a rest day, it was something that I called an active rest day. Now for some that means like light walking and things like that, which is great to be active on a rest day in the sense that you want to do some light walking just to get your body moving. That's really good for you. But for me, it wasn't actually rest, it was still vigorous exercise, which high intensity interval training is. It's rigorous exercise, and it's quite damaging for your body. So for me to see that as some sort of rest, I don't know what I was thinking. Nowadays, rest days are not taken lightly. I definitely have some rest. I take 2 rest days a week, which for some people that may be too much, that may be too little. It doesn't matter. All of these thoughts within this video is my thoughts. Whether you can relate to them or not, it doesn't matter. I'm just sharing my experience. I really don't want anyone to compare themselves to me and say that my thoughts were more unhealthier than theirs or less unhealthier than theirs. That's not what this all is about. I'm just sharing my thoughts with you guys today. Even my arms are much smaller, and for me, my arms have always been small, but in this particular video, I can just see how small they are, and it just really upsets me because I thought that was just me being healthy, that were my thoughts, being smaller were healthy. Also, can I just say that my editing skills have leveled up, and the music choice has definitely leveled up too. That has been not a music of choice nowadays. I do not play that music on repeat.
So the blender that I'm using is a blender which I got sent from a company called Koro, and they kindly gifted it to me, and it's bloody amazing. I highly recommend you guys trying it out for yourselves. I have a discount code in my bio if you want to go check it out. It's actually Leila Koro, and it gets you 5% off any product on their website. So if you're interested, hit them up and have a browse.
Okay, so number one with the smoothie. There was nothing wrong with that smoothie bowl. All of the contents in with that were great ingredients. So we had the banana in there, the blue spirulina, we had the cauliflower, great nutrients, a great smoothie bowl overall. All of these foods within this video even, there's nothing wrong with them. As I address within most of my videos, there's no good or bad foods, and I did still think that within this video. But can someone tell me why I was weighing coffee? Why I was weighing milk? Like, coffee, does that even have calories in it? Probably like 2 calories. Why was I weighing my coffee? And then my almond milk, which has like less than 10 calories in it per serving. I rest my case. Even within my voice, I felt like it was quite dull throughout this whole video, but in that little segment there, my voice sounded so dull.
Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be part of a series of my mission field, if you saw from my previous video, and I'm just going to run you through a full days of eating as well as a day in the life sort of thing. This is going to be the start of my building process, where I'm going to start at my lowest calories, which is 1,700 calories. If you want a full explanation of how I'm going to go about it, it's just going to be linked up there for you to go check out. So as you would have seen this morning, I did a little HIIT session and core workout, and that's because normally on Thursdays I would do a HIIT and core workout as well as a upper body session, but I'm not going to be able to get my upper body session in today because I've got an event which I'm going to bring you along with. I then had my breakfast, and now I'm fully dressed and ready to get out the door. I've brought some snacks with me as well as some lunch, just in case there's no food there and I can just eat whenever I want. As well as I'm going to make a smoothie right now, just in case I get a bit more peckish.
Okay, so first off, I want to address me working out in the morning, as I highlighted within this clip. and me going to an event which actually requires me to do some hardcore training too, my thoughts back then were I had to look in great shape to attend one of these events, and I haven't been to an event in some time now, one of these like public relation events where you go with brands and just meet other influencers and things, because of obviously COVID and it not being allowed, because it would be many of us in one sort of area. But whenever I did go to these events, which I had been quite a fair few in the past, I'd feel so insecure because it was just full of such beautiful, young, lovely, gorgeous, amazing ladies, all with amazing figures, and I could not go past a mirror without looking at myself and comparing each and every one of them. So I think I thought that I had to look really great to go to this event on that particular day. So I had to do some sort of exercise in the morning so that I looked toned and that I'd feel confident walking around with other beautiful girls. Nextly, I want to address the fact that I prepared food to go to this event, and that was a way of me controlling what I ate, because within the event brief it said there'll be food supplied, and you can see how that controlling sense was in my mindset. If I brought my own food, I wouldn't have to eat theirs, and I can give the excuse that, oh, I made my own food so I don't really want yours. That's because I wouldn't have known what was in their particular food that they prepared, what kind of calories were in it and stuff like that. So on that particular day, I made and brought my own food to this event.
So yeah, I'll probably see you in a bit.
I had a smoothie and protein bar before this little event that we hosted in Pure Gym. It was a Pure Gym event and their Summer Games event. But with the smoothie, I would never add like milk to my smoothies. I would always add like loads and loads of water to fill the contents up and not add a lot of liquid calories. And again, I was weighing like frozen berries, which are like hardly any calories in them. And I so get that people want to achieve aesthetic goals, and obviously they need to get there by tracking their calories and macros, and it can be very super helpful. But the moment it becomes obsessive, like how I was back then, that's when it's wrong. So I have nothing wrong with people tracking their calories. Like, I have nothing wrong with it. You just do you, but for me, it was a very obsessive tool, and I just had to get away from that. So during the whole event, like I addressed previously, I was just looking around like, wow, these girls look amazing. And I knew at the time that I looked quite thin, because obviously, as I addressed within the video previously, that I was on my little mission build series. So I was actively trying to gain weight after losing it for so long and being in a deficit for an unhealthy period of time. But a lot of the time, oh gosh, that is such a that is such a bad picture of me, but let's ignore that for now. But during that time, where there was just loads of muscular guys and girls who were very, very strong, I just felt insecure. which obviously is not a great thing. You never want to feel insecure comparing yourself to others. You always just want to feel yourself, even if there are 1,000,001 amazing, beautiful people around you. You have to own it, and that is what I have come to accustom to myself now, that I've just got to own and flaunt my own body. It doesn't matter if you look a certain way that maybe some others are not gonna approve of. Like, you just gotta fake it until you make it, baby. Anyways, after this event, they all headed off for pizza, and I decided, obviously, I was not gonna head off for pizza because that was just like a big no-no. So I brought my own food to the event. Didn't manage to eat it because we were rushed for time and they didn't supply us with the food that they firstly organised, so they all just went for pizza instead. So I ate it on the bus.
Now, and it was so much fun. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm just gonna have some lunch now, which I'll insert some footage of whilst I'm on the bus eating it here. I brought it with me to have, of me making it yesterday that I prepared. And I'm also gonna have this bar from Tom Oliver that was in my muscle food order, so yeah. I've also got a bag full of goodies which I'll open up and share with you when I get home.
So what you see there is Skinny sauce, and I'm no longer with the Skinny Co company anymore because I just don't like their name of it. I really don't mind sugar-free syrups and things like that. I know people have a go at me for using them, but I'm never not gonna have the My Vegan butterscotch sugar-free syrup because I freaking love it. So if you don't like that about me, go away. I don't want to hear any of this rubbish. I know that's really mean to say, but I just don't want to be told that these syrups that I personally like and enjoy are not something that I should have. If I want to have it, then I can have it. It's not to say that I don't enjoy normal syrup like maple syrup or agave syrup or other kind of syrups. I personally just enjoy this one. So if that's my thoughts, then leave them. That is not coming from a thought of disordered eating, because I am addressing to you guys today my exact disordered eatings, which I no longer have. So I would really appreciate it to all those girls that leave nasty comments sometimes about me using those syrups to just drop it, because it has got nothing to do with my previous thoughts. And I also want to highlight, it doesn't make me a bad person to have those syrups either. I'm not telling anyone to have them. I may recommend them, but it's not to say that you should go copy me. With all these What I Eat in a Day videos, people assume that they have to copy me. You don't. I'm just sharing them, and if you don't like watching those kind of videos, then just don't watch them. They're just obviously not good for you. There was nothing wrong with any of those foods that I prepared together. It was actually quite a decent meal. It had the avocado there for the fats, as well as the tempeh as the protein, as well as the quinoa and bulgur wheat mix and all the fresh vegetables. It had all the micro and macronutrients in there, as well as a protein bar to have afterwards. That was quite a nutritious and delicious meal. What was wrong here was the fact that I had to force myself to eat it on the bus. Otherwise, I would go over the time that I restricted myself to have my lunch in. It was already quite late in the day, and back then, I really struggled with meal timings and eating when I was hungry. I ate more off of meal timings. So breakfast I had to eat at a particular time, a snack I had to eat at a particular time, lunch I had to eat at a particular time, dinner I had to eat before 6. So my thoughts for those were eating that meal on the bus so that when I get home I could do other things and then I could have dinner in time for 6 p.m, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys can relate to that.
So I've just come back from the event today and I've arrived back home to a package from Nimble, which is an Australian activewear brand, and they sent me a product of theirs to try on, which I've tried on and I've got on here. I've switched from my Lulus into theirs, and honestly the fit is flipping amazing, the quality is amazing, the design is amazing, and they have loads of other designs that I'll leave in the description box down below if you want to check them out, that they have on their website. But I'll just give you a look at what I've got on right now of theirs. So it's just this fabulous set that I have on here. It's this Dalmatian kind of print. I'm not really sure what it is, but it looks amazing, so it doesn't matter, and it's flattering on the old bod, so I'm down with it. I'm wearing a size extra small on the top and bottom for reference, but it's so amazing and I highly recommend you guys checking them out. But in terms of what I got in the goodie bag from the...
So I'm just going to skip over what I actually got in the goodie bag because nobody's really interested in that, but I wanted to highlight my thoughts during that little segment where I was like looking at myself in the mirror. I actually remember those thoughts vividly. I don't know why, but I actually thought I was big, and that might be quite triggering for some people, and in that case I would just recommend you guys just click off. But I thought I was bigger than I thought, and I remember always telling my boyfriend, oh, I don't have abs, they're being hidden by all my like rolls and stuff. But I had abs and it's clear that I had abs. I just don't know why I didn't see past that. And the way I was just like hovering the camera about, like quickly showing you my outfit and then just showing you my face, even though I said I looked good, I felt in my head I didn't look good. And that was a balance of, oh, I'm too thin, or I'm not too thin enough. Like, my thoughts back then were just like a round, vicious circle of, yes, I'm good enough, no, I'm good enough, yes, I'm good enough, and no, I'm not good enough. It was just so toxic, honestly, so toxic. So I've just jumped past the little gifting segment that I got within the goodie bag, and we're on to snack time.
As a snack, after lunch and my little dessert that I had with it, I made myself a little pot of yogurt. It's got like 100 grams of yogurt in here, mixed in with mixed berries, and I know that looks awful, but I was hungry, so I haven't eaten it yet, but it's the xoxoxo as well, mixed in as well. So I'm going to eat this, and I'll probably see you at dinner time if I've got nothing else to say. Yeah, dinner time. So I'll catch you then.
So as you would have seen, I had my small yogurt pot. I obviously knew it was small, but Christ, that was really, really small. It had like 2 frozen berries in there and a drizzle of some chocolate sauce. Not much of a great snack that was. And it was definitely less than 100 grams. I probably just said that on the camera just to share with some people that I was eating more than I actually was. But let's roll on to dinner.
Guys, so it's time for dinner, and I'm just going to whiz up some dinner for me to have because I'm feeling really hungry now. After some time, I've just been working on a few bits, doing a few things. For dinner, I'm feeling a bit like pasta-ish, so I'm going to make myself like an Edamame Pasta here, which I've got. It's this one by Explore Cuisine. It's the one that I always use, but I know that Tesco's and Sainsbury's does their own brand as well, but I find this one tastes the nicest. It's really good on the macro front because per 100 grams it has 24 grams of protein in it, 6 grams of fat and 11 grams of carbs, and that is well good in comparison to pasta. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the normal kind of pasta, but in terms of like fitting it into my macros and things like that, it works really well if I want to have more carbs during the morning, which I do prefer to have.
So as you would have seen, I dodged the old pasta front because I highlighted that I'm not saying that pasta is bad, but back then I thought that pasta was bad and it was just full of carbs and I shouldn't have it. I know I still sometimes have that edamame bean pasta today. I sometimes have the soybean pasta today, but that is genuinely because the protein content in it is absolutely amazing. And if I want a higher protein day, those are the sorts of pastas I go for. The difference between back then and me now is that I don't fear pasta and I don't fear having that carbs if I want to. If I want to have normal pasta, which some people think that I don't have, then I will have it. You see some scenarios within my life. You don't see my whole life on camera. I only show you certain parts. So for some people to say that you don't even eat real pasta, I do. You may not see it all the time, but I actually do. So I get offended when people say that I don't eat certain things that I don't. I understand back then when I had those real disordered thoughts that maybe if you pointed that out, that's much more helpful for me to when it is now. But nowadays, for you to say that, it's just, it's verbal abuse.
And I like to keep my protein intake high whilst I'm on this build. And currently it's on 125 grams of protein, just like when I was in a cut. I think I went over the macros in my previous video, so head over there if you haven't already checked it out. But I'm going to head into the kitchen now and yeah, show you the end product. So we have the spinach base there, along with the soy mince, sweet peppers, mushrooms, red onions and some spices mixing in there, as well as the edamame pasta, as well as some broccoli and green beans on the side, and this fabulous strawberry and pepper tea from a company called Off Black Teas, and they've got some groovy flavours going on their website, so check them out. But yeah, that's dinner. And that's it guys, dinner done and dusted for the final meal of the day. We've got the edamame pasta, the soy mince, the green beans, spinach, broccoli, a meal high in protein, which I'll leave all the macros down in the description box down below. If you like this video guys, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, show me some love. Look forward to more in the series of Mission Build. And I'll see you in the next one.
And that is the whole video. Wow, shocking. Where is the dessert? I love dessert. It doesn't matter how full I am, I will always fit it in just because I genuinely love it. And I know you should listen to your hunger cues, and if you're full, you're full. But for me, I just really have to end on a sweet note, otherwise I'm not satisfied. So for me to not have dessert, which in many of my old what I eat in a day videos I avoided, it's just shocking. That tea is not dessert, love. It's not dessert. Another thing that I did continually throughout my old what I eat in a day videos were showing my macros and really being upfront with it, and I think that was quite damaging for some of my viewers because they would rely on my macros, and I still get it today, like people asking me how many calories I'm eating, what are my macros like and stuff. But I just avoid sharing them because they're not going to help you. They are really not going to help you. And I remember also asking other girls like what their calories were, what their macros are, to try and seek like some comfort and seeing if I'm doing great compared to them. I just don't see how beneficial that is for someone to know what someone else's calories are, even if it is for reference, which a lot of people say, and is what I used to say to girls that I were asking to, just for reference. It wasn't, it was a form of comparison. And I again want to highlight that I would still genuinely have that meal today. There's nothing wrong with the foods throughout that day at all, but it was just the amount that I was eating them in and thinking that I had to stay within my calorie amount, whether I wasn't hungry or whether I was. And throughout that whole video where I said I was hungry, not hungry all the time, I wasn't actually feeling if I was hungry or not. I just knew that at 6 p.m. I had to have dinner, so all of a sudden I became hungry when I actually wasn't. Whereas nowadays I could go way past 6 p.m. and have my dinner at 8 p.m. because that's when I feel hungry, whereas I didn't feel that way, whereas I relied on meal timings to go with my hunger cues. But if I had to sum this video up, I would have to say that I'm quite proud of my thoughts and I'm still working on them. It's still a work in process. Obviously, I have thoughts now and then in my head, but I know how to overcome them quite well, and I'm lucky enough to have such a supportive boyfriend who really reassures me every time I doubt myself that I am doing well, and I don't have to have abs to feel great about myself, which I currently don't have abs, and I am more than happy that I don't. Another thing I'm quite proud of is my editing. I haven't deleted a lot of my old videos because it's quite funny to see the difference between my editing then and now. I'm always learning, and I'm still learning to this very day. I wouldn't say my editing skills nowadays are like 100% amazing, but in compared to like that video, I would say they are definitely much better, which would be great for you guys seeing the content. But I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video, and it just showed you some of my past thoughts and maybe you related to some of them. Let me know if you did by dropping a comment in the comment section down below. Also, leave a like on this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more from me, and I shall see you in the next one. Lots of love, bye bye.